welcome everyone. Welcome, Melissa. And now you're muted. Good. Welcome and good afternoon. Okay.
Good afternoon.
So now we have a session. I'm sorry I kept you waiting. Thank you for waiting for us. So welcome also Agudor Agabas from Ghana. And
hi everyone.
Hello. And have you met with my team today?
Not yet. I'm about to pick them up from the airport.
Yeah, I know. They missed out on the flight, which might make it a bit tricky for Bonnie to do the closing remarks. We'll see how that goes. So lovely to have you here. And also we have Imani from the Catalytic Job Fund, a KCJF, as we call it, project with the UK aid funding. And Kobia from Akili network. And Philip, welcome. Muwanika from GGGI in Uganda. Lovely to have you here. And we even get an audible applause. That is very nice. By the way, everyone who is listening in, you have some reaction buttons down there. You can choose. Me, I like choosing the heart. And then in the left-hand or the right-hand panel, you have the discussion Q&A session where you can send in input or questions. And then you can interact also in the lobby lounge here and send messages to each other. So as we enter now the last hour of our second African e-waste conference, I'm so excited that we are ending off with the awareness creation, because in each and every session we have had during yesterday and today, whether it has been on legislation, whether it has been on private sector engagement, etc., everybody is saying we need more awareness creation. We need to sensitize, we need to train people. And that's where we all now come in during this session. So basically, what I want us to do, since we are in lack of timing, I will give you each a 5-minute, no less, no more, where you will present who you are, what you're doing, when it comes to awareness creation, what you might have done or what you are about to do, so that we can round off. I'm sorry, it's going to be a bit short, but nevertheless, we are here together, right? So we will start with Melissa. I think that's appropriate because I see that we have some big, huge programs of awareness creation, but then we also have enormous in their sort of smallness, but still with such passion, people who are engaging and starting by themselves, even at such young age as you are, Melissa. So kindly tell us how it began and what you have done. And I'm going to show you like this when it's just 1 minute left. Huh? Okay? Lovely. The floor is yours, Melissa.
Can Leon share my slide?
Do we have a slide? Yes. There were some other participants he was talking to. I'm sorry. Is it going to be quick or we? You can start talking about who you are a little bit. Present yourself.
Okay. Hi everyone, my name is Melissa Njeri Thuo. I am 10 years old. I am in grade 5 in Lions Primary School and I live in Kenya. in Nakuru, and years old. I started. I was encouraged by my mother to keep on going. I was very shy at first, but I continued until today.
That's wonderful to hear. And I know you are one of our ambassadors, of course, which is wonderful. During COVID, it has been a bit down, but did you fix it? Are we still? Sorry about the technical difficulties. Now, here we have, but we will have to go through it very quickly. So kindly start, Melissa.
Okay. Can I have the next slide, please? As I said, I am 10 years old and I'm in grade 5 in Lions Primary School in Nakuru. I am also an e-waste ambassador for the We Center in Nairobi, Kenya since 2017. I have collected over 1 ton of e-waste. I am also the president and founder of e-waste Kidz initiative, which I started by the help of my parents. We create awareness on e-waste to children like me. Through the initiative, I won the Green Kidz Award 2018. Here you can see my social media accounts. You can see my Facebook account, Green Star Kids Initiative, and my email account, greenstarkidsinitiative@gmail.com. Next slide, please. Why do we focus on children? We are the leaders of tomorrow. The environment needs us to take care of it. The earlier children learn, the better. We love to help too. We are important members of society. Next slide. Our awareness message is reduce, reuse, and recycle, the 3 R's of the environment. I would like to give you examples of e-waste, which are old batteries, broken torches, light bulbs, old phones, and computers and televisions. Next. As we go to many schools, I tell children about the dangers of e-waste, which are it does not decompose, it accumulates in the environment, in the air, soil, water, and living things. When e-waste is burnt in dump sites, it releases some toxins into the environment. Next slide. The truth is, e-waste is destroying our future. If we collect e-waste for safe disposal, we are protecting the environment and safeguarding generations. Next, challenges in awareness. For many people, it is difficult to let go items, even though they are broken and they no longer use them. For example, phones, laptops, and TVs. Many people want to sell the items but not give for free. For example, some people want to sell, if you tell them that you're helping the environment, they will say you have to give them money so that they can give you the phone or laptop or TV. So that is to my understanding. Other challenges that you face are, my timetable has been very limited because of school. Here I was in grade 2 telling my classmates about e-waste. Next slide. Here I am in grade 5. I was telling my classmates about e-waste and the dangers of e-waste. Next slide. Here I was loading the e-waste into the waste center van. You can see in the photo that the workers from the waste center were helping me to load the e-waste into the van. Next slide. Here you can see that there are old televisions and other items. I went to a guy in town. I asked him where he dumps his waste. He told me he dumps it at the dump site. So I asked him politely if he would give me the e-waste so that I can dispose them safely. Next slide, please.
And Melissa, this is wonderful, but I don't think we will be able to do all the slides, unfortunately. So just think of how to conclude a little bit. This is wonderful, though. We're loving it.
Okay, we can go to the conclusion. Excuse me, Leon, can you put for me the last 3 slides?
Presentation. Last 3 7 hours, 1880.
I'm sorry. We need to go on. Leon, you need to, because it's double. So thank you, Melissa. Yeah, applause from the audience. Wonderful to see what you have done. And I can only imagine what is going to happen going forward also. I'm sure people might even reach out now to see how did you go about it? And I don't know, what is your answer? Was it hard to start or?
Yeah, at first it was hard, but I got used to it.
I'm sure meeting people and presenting something can be a bit nerve-wracking, but you've done amazingly well. Please stay tuned, and we need to talk to the others also. So Agudor in Ghana, What have you been up to? What are you doing? And what is your focus? And now you will only have 3 minutes, please. And then he disappeared. No, now you're back.
Hi everyone. I have 3 minutes, right? All right. So my name is Agudor Agabas. I'm from Ghana. An entrepreneur and as well a sustainability consultant. So in 2019, we founded AppCyclers, which is basically a social enterprise into e-waste education, e-waste collection, and then recycling. That's basically our main services we provide. So with e-waste education, that was back in 2020. This is why we basically thought of embarking in e-waste education. 2020, we conducted a survey in Tamale, Ghana, to basically understand the knowledge of people with regards to electronic waste and how people dispose them of. Throughout the research, we realized that 60% of these people do not have an idea of what electronic waste is and even how they could safely dispose them of. So this actually influenced our decision in fully paying much attention on e-waste education. So on a yearly basis, we come up with educational programs or activities, which basically some are webinars, some are workshops, some are community engagement. So we've basically initiated about 3 awareness programs and even counting. The current one was organizing an e-waste recycling workshop, which the focus was engaging senior high school students on the negative effect e-waste poses on the environment and how they could also contribute in reducing electronic waste. So we basically have most of the students coming around and as well learning how to dismantle most of the components of electronic waste, just for them to have a fair idea of what goes into the building of electronic appliances and then as well as the recycling of it. That was last month. We also organized an awareness campaign, which is basically a capacity building training, whereby we take the students. We targeted only basic senior high schools, and we targeted them and equipped them with some tools, okay, and then as well took them through how they could dismantle keyboards. That is one of the aspects we did, and as well how they could basically turn most of this keyboard into artifact, jewelries, and as well any form of beautiful products you can find of. And this was very, very innovative and as well as encouraging. So we realized that education, e-waste education, is one of the core and essential aspects within the community in which we live. We've seen that although the harm has already been caused, we see a lot of electronic waste in the compound, in the communities, on landfills and whatever. But then these kids are basically brilliant and innovative in what they do. So if we are able to impact the necessary skills, if we are able to build their knowledge, they'll be able in the near future to bring forth good policies, good regulations, and as well as innovative solutions to help solve the menaces. This is why we actually focus mainly on students. We will actually focus mainly on the youth, so that the youth will be aware, the youth will have the necessary knowledge, skills, and then capacity to be able to solve the e-waste problem. Thank you very much, Youth Center, for having AppCyclers on board. We look forward for a whole lot of collaborations together.
Thank you, and very inspiring. And I can really tell everyone to go and follow AppCyclers in social media. I really love the jewelry session you had with those high school students. I have some jewelry myself now here, not made there, but made here. And I think that is a really great way of reaching out. So you are totally on the right path. Of course, as long as we work with the legislation and the government to also step up and be good role models. All right, next in line, I would like to hear Kaburo, Kobia, from the Akili network, what you guys are doing and the potential in creating awareness on e-waste matters or waste management and environmental matters in general. The floor is yours, Karubo. Welcome.
Hello, everyone. Yes, it's such a pleasure to be at this conference with you all. Let me share my screen.
I know it's a bit of a problem, but we can say that Akili Network, me who don't have kids and I'm not Kenyan, so I also don't watch TV very often, I'm sorry to say. I can pretend for your sake.
Perhaps I will talk because I know we don't have much time. I'm trying to share the screen. And we tested it with Leon earlier and it worked, but of course now it's crunch time, it's not working.
No, I'm sorry.
All right, so I'm just going to talk through it because I appreciate we have very little time here. So thank you so much for inviting us, and such a pleasure to go after Melissa. What a wonderful presentation you made, Melissa. I work at Akili Network, which is a media company based in Nairobi, Kenya. We launched our flagship brand, which is Akili Kidz TV, in March 2020. This is a TV station dedicated to children and families. We have 24-hour programming that's always safe and always entertaining and always has an educational and learning outcome for children. Many might ask if TV is relevant for Kenya today. A lot of people talk about mobile and the internet, but I'd be happy to share with you that the growth of TV in Kenya has more than doubled since 2015 after we went through the digital migration. So now 3/4 of Kenyans actually access TV, and a lot of the viewership for TV is driven by children. Before a child has a mobile phone, they will interact with a TV. And I know we're talking about electronic waste, and I'm discussing here about accessing a lot of electronics, but we found that TV is a wonderful platform for communicating behavior change messages for young people. Melissa and even Akbar before me talked about the importance of engaging young people in messages like this. I think at 10 years old or at 8 years old, when Melissa would have started, if you get convinced about or understand the importance of a particular topic, it will be with you for the rest of your life. So we really feel that engaging young people with important messages like this is so important. What we do as Akili Kidz is we're able to program around the day and schedule of families. And this is the particular insight that we have. And what I wanted to share with you is a case study of a piece of content that we created earlier this year. This was now on internet safety. We were challenged. The challenge was to create content that would be able to communicate to 10 to 14-year-olds on important messaging around internet safety. What we did is created a comedy TV series called Flash Squad. So it's funny, it's short, and I don't know how we can share, but maybe in the chat I will share a link on YouTube for people to watch if they're interested. It has a very clever way of delivering the key message. But most important, what we did is really role model. So for a lot of our audience, they might not have access to the internet just yet, either because of age or because of rural access or where they live. But for sure, we know that young people are going to access the internet at some point in their life. So what the show does is role model the kind of behavior that we would want young people to do. We were then able to do a case study, do a little bit of survey, and we just got the results of the survey recently. And we're so excited that the survey, the points, which I'd love to show with you right now, but I can share with you that 84% of the people that we surveyed that had watched Flash Squad were able to remember the themes in the content that we showed them. And this was unprompted. So it was very effective in delivering the messages and for people to have that recall. And 83% of parents whose kids had watched Flash Squad felt more confident about letting their children go on the internet. So this basically is to show that what we feel that the special combination that we feel we were able to do is having compelling content and then being able to distribute it effectively on our channel, reach the children and families because of our reach. So I didn't talk about our reach, just to talk about our reach. And these statistics are for Kenya, so they'll be relevant to the Kenyan people. But we're happy to report that we're actually the most watched television station in Kenya in homes that have children. So Citizen TV is the most watched TV station. We're number 2 overall, but number 1 in homes with children. And that is a reach of about 6.8 million children and 4.8 million parents every week. So for a topic like this on e-waste, I would love to connect with, say, Melissa, and even with you in Ghana for content that we could then, distribute on our channel and reach young people with this important messaging. So happy to connect with other people who create content within this conference. If you have content that's specific to children or have some ideas on how to communicate to children on this important topic, would love to connect with you. And Melissa, I'm going to reach out to you, definitely. I would love to see how we can amplify your voice and your important message in Kenya.
Thank you.
That's fantastic. So thank you so much for your presentation, Kaburo, and for Kaburo. I'm sorry, I'm reading it backwards. Kaburo. For sure, TV has a huge reach out and potential in showing. So I would be just ecstatic if something like that could happen. And I was happy to meet with Jeff some months ago, and let's just make it happen. Yeah. Okay, we move forward through the panel. We have Philip with us from GGGI in Uganda. And now, Philip, I know I've been have been generous with everyone, and you are the one who got a slot, and you're not the last one either. So we can
no problem.
But you have done some research on e-waste awareness and availability around in Uganda, and I wanted you guys to share a little bit about that. So kindly just present who you are, what GGGI does, and then very shortly, extremely shortly, about the rest.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity to join this conference. My name is Philip Muwanika. I work for the Global Green Growth Institute, and we are a Twitter-based international organization, and we focusing on supporting development across the developing and developed countries, and we focus on a number of themes. One of them is waste management. We support sustainable urbanization. We support sustainable landscapes, gender and equity, green industrialization, and also sustainable energy. And so our strong focus on e-waste management, we've done a bit of work on e-waste in Uganda, and we just completed a valuation analysis on how matters are in the country. And of course, it was a very interesting exercise in that the country has a lot of, it has everything in place in terms of the legal, regulatory, and institutional framework, but there is not much that has happened as far as value addition to e-waste is concerned. Many people, of course, as it has already been said by Melissa, that majority of the people prefer that when they generate this waste, especially with telephones like mine, when it reaches the end of life, they require to be paid, as opposed to them paying for the waste like they do for the municipal and other waste that they generate at home. And of course, majority again of the people that are involved in the chain mainly undertake informal processes to try and recover the precious metals and other useful materials. And of course, we know that endangers them, but they surely are trying to scratch out for a living. and therefore majority of them just go that way. And of course, once they pick out the circuit boards and the other valuables, they sell those on to aggregators around the region, and off it ends in China and Asia. So somehow, when we were starting to do this work, majority of the government agencies were saying that, why do you do this? It's not the most urgent thing that we need to do. So that points to the fact that people are actually not aware how dangerous this waste is. Two, they don't yet appreciate that before this e-waste becomes a big problem, it's best to address it now than we know the normal trends that the solid waste, the municipal waste has taken in many cities across the world. And so our visits to the landfills, you would hardly see any piece of electronic waste. In fact, the best you can see is maybe a broken piece of plastic of a TV. But it looks like those other materials, like the ICs and all the others, they collect them. But we realize that majority of the people keep the waste and they don't sell it. They don't, because, okay, they won't sell it, but no one really wants to give them the kind of money that they expect. I'll just speak about one company that was here. It was a telecom company called Midicom. It came down here and they were selling for new telephones. And they had this very good approach that when your phone reached its end of usefulness, they had a scheme where they would take that particular brand that they were distributing. It was Nokia. So they would take that phone back and then collect it and resell. And once they accumulate the quantities they require, then they're able to bulk it and ship it onto, I think they were shipping it back to India. But when that company closed, there's currently no telecom company or distributor or importer of these electronics that is doing any take-back scheme or implementing anything to try and take responsibility for the waste generated. So I think the way we stand right now, people are not yet aware. And so people need to be told that this is actually a waste, as opposed to thinking that it's a property, it's a phone which I can cash in anytime. Because majority of them decide to rather keep them for ages.
Thank you.
Than dispose it of. So that's where we stand. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Philip, and thank you also for telling about that interaction from a company who is exchanging. That is coming on strong across the world, where some manufacturers or sellers will take back now when and also collect and send for recycling, maybe in America or depending on which brand. So lovely. Things are happening in Uganda and not happening at the same time, but at least we have started, right? To let everyone know, we Center is also opening up a branch in Uganda. I've already seen that. Yes, thank you. So we have two more people in this group who hasn't been able to talk, and we have the next speaker waiting for the keynote. So Imani from KCJF, kindly tell us extremely shortly what you guys are doing. It's a Catalytic job fund. We have a project together with you, and you have different other projects happening. How can we raise awareness and sensitize people on these issues? And how do you do it from your side?
All right. Thank you so much, Simone. I hope I'm audible. My name is Imani, and I am the stakeholder engagement lead on the Kenya Catalytic.
Speak a little bit closer to, or do you have headphones? Hold it in front of your mouth.
Oh, okay. Is that any better? No? Okay. 1 second. All right, let me just do it this way. All right, thank you. So, like I said, my name is Imani. I work as the stakeholder engagement lead on the Kenya Catalytic Jobs Fund. A quick summary about it. It's a £5 million 4-year program that's managed by the Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office here in Nairobi. And our mandate has been to support innovative enterprises with a bottom line on creating active employment opportunities in Kenya. And so far, we've managed to support up to 19 different organizations with a mixture of technical assistance and actual cash. And what we do is we disburse the cash per milestone over the last couple of years. And We Center is actually one of our newest portfolio companies. They joined us in our most recent cycle for funding. And we've been able to work with them through a lot of things, and especially being very climate conscious and looking at sustainability, especially when there's so much electronic waste that is going on. And I think listening to some of my other counterparts who are part of the panel today, I'm the one who's coming in from a very different perspective, from the investments side of things. And I feel like as investors, then what we are actively looking out for when we are looking for opportunities for funding really is one, organizations that are not only climate conscious, but then they're also able to be sustainable long term. So once we are having guys like We Center on board, actively reducing the amount of waste that goes in, and also upcycling and recycling, all those kind of things, and pushing back into different programs that are improving the different communities where it exists, I feel that in itself creates a better profile for this different kind of businesses. And to quickly just speak about what I think capacity building and awareness in itself from the investment side of things, I'm not so certain whether within the audience we have a couple of other investors, but then one of the things that actively comes out as a recommendation really is to have a synthesized collaborative approach among the different partners within this ecosystem, so that at the end of the day, we are not just pushing for this conversation as We Center or as KCJF or as Melissa or as Kaburo's news agency. We need to have that sort of like very collaborative approach by removing all the silos that exist within the ecosystem. That way we have a more definitive sort of like way forward. And yeah, Simone, that is my very brief and succinct feedback.
It was perfect. Yes, and I loved how you ended with the collaborative approach and get away from all the silos. That is imperative for us, because it's one thing with us who are engaged and enthusiastic in this field. We also need to get other people on board. So that's why we need to interact and learn. Great. Thank you. Do we still have Lee present in the group? Let me see. He was here. Now he's not. Now he's here again.
I'm here.
Lovely. So we also have another youth, older than Melissa though, Lee Ndegwa, who, well, introduce yourself, and you have less than 2 minutes to do your presentation. We have shown a video where Lee was in it also, so he already has an introduction pretty much. But kindly let us know what you have been up to the latest 2 years.
Okay, I hope you can hear me. Okay, yeah, my name is Lee Ndegwa, and I'm co-founder of Kijani World. And essentially what Kijani World is a group of teenagers who use their talents and their interests in general to help conserve the environment. So me in particular, I co-founded a sector of Kijani called Kijani Tech, which is the e-waste sector, which is an awareness and collection campaign. And we founded it on 14th October 2020, which is International E-Waste Day. And essentially since then, we have partnered with We Center to help dispose of the e-waste that we collect properly, and the Kilimani Foundation, so that we can secure a monthly collection site. And since then, we've collected 10 tons, just over 10 tons of e-waste, and spread awareness to thousands of people, well over, I'd say 200,000 people. We also do collections in private estates and schools, like we've done collections in 5 schools, for example, Rusinga and Loreto. And essentially what what I've found out through my time in working in e-waste is that many young people are not aware about e-waste in general. And this is one of the main problems, because I think that especially young people are the ones that are going to be affected by the effects of e-waste. And the fact that many of them don't really know about it is very alarming. And I've also found out that especially now much older people have a hard time parting with their e-waste. They still think that even if it doesn't work, it still has some sort of value. And that these are the kind of obstacles we've come against in my time working with We Center and the Akili Foundation to collect the e-waste. And what I'd suggest to overcome this is we can try provide incentives to fasten or to speed up the awareness and behavior to recycle e-waste, and also educate the youth more about, for example, the job opportunities that come with e-waste. Yeah, thank you.
Lovely, well put. Thank you so much, Lee. And to see and witness the engagement from Kijani tech part of the Kijani world is really, really inspiring and encouraging for us as well. So we're very proud partners. Thank you for being here. Now, we've heard all. We have so many suggestions of how to communicate. There is no doubt there is need. And like I said, it's been lifted in each and every session throughout yesterday and today. So the initiatives that you have ongoing are so much needed, and we're very, very grateful. And the discussion will not end here. Please reach out to each other. Please reach out otherwise through us, and we will provide contacts. Yes, many comments here also. Such inspirational, Melissa and Lee, key to unlocking awareness to the mainstream population. They are energetic, smart, and I could continue in filling in those wonderful remarks also. So together, collaborative, it is clear. Now, we need to round off, and we will do that with Federico Magalini. Are we changing? Yeah, so we're moving everyone over to the next session. Stay tuned and be with us to the end, and then we will have also hopefully Boniface Mbiti, the CEO, for some closing remarks, unless he's stuck somewhere in an airport. Okay, let's move us.